Hi, I'm Ben Lawson, Vice President of European Mobility at Enterprise Holdings. I'm here to talk to you about the practical examples we can implement to help the future of mobility outside our major urban areas. These are often areas we are repeatedly told struggle with multimodal travel and are dominated by single occupancy car journeys. Enterprise is significantly engaged in the debate around the future of mobility, and over the last decade has invested more than 2 billion in new technology and innovation. Over the last few years, we've collaborated with national and local governments, public transport, active travel, and digital mobility operators to deploy groundbreaking mobility solutions. We have an expansive branch network and car club that provides coverage in rural communities and small towns across the UK. As a result, people can easily access our services because we are within 10 miles of 95% of the UK population. This unique positioning means that not only do we serve rural communities already, but that we're always looking for opportunities to innovate and invest in new products and services that can enhance local transport options. Currently, in rural communities, there are very limited alternatives to private car use and public transport. The bus network is insufficient to provide all journeys effectively and reliably. Many small rural communities will be served by a single bus an hour, or in some cases even a day. And that's not to criticise the bus operators, but just to highlight that the bus alone will not provide the whole solution for a rural community. To put this into context, according to the RAC, in England, 61% of trips are made by car, either as a driver or a passenger, with the car accounting for 77% of the total distance travelled. Similarly, more people use cars for travelling to work in rural areas, with 73%, compared to urban areas at 67%, with London being dramatically lower. This is therefore a good indication that given the age profile of those in rural communities, the distance to key services, areas of employment, and the need for travel on social occasions, there is inevitably going to be a need for access to a car. The rural transport strategy must therefore incorporate the car as part of the solution rather than just part of the problem. And this means incentivising a move away from the private car and car ownership towards shared car usership as part of a range of sustainable transport options. An essential part of this must be encouraging users to reconsider how they use the car and when they use the car for them to be able to switch to car usership. It's been repeatedly proven that this decreases vehicle ownership and increases the use of public transport and active travel. So how do we increase the uptake of multimodal travel rather than car ownership? This TV campaign we did is the first and to date only national TV campaign aimed at taking car clubs into the wider public awareness. That's important not for Enterprise, but for the uptake of all car clubs and multimodal travel.
Unlock Car Club cars across the UK with your phone 24/7. Whatever the mission, Enterprise.
Future adverts will feature the way car clubs can integrate with other modes of transport. Another great way to enable the public to see multimodal travel options is mobility as a service. This is important not just for users, but also for mobility providers. Visibility of services will drive usership, which will in turn drive further provision. And we're really excited to be part of the Go High Mass programme taking place in the Highlands in partnership with Highlands. This genuinely ambitious project has been made possible through funding access via Mass Scotland. The objective is to launch the Go High branded mass application in the Highlands across an area roughly the size of Belgium. Being the Highlands, it has some obvious challenges. It's very rural with limited transport infrastructure. It's the most expansive trial of its kind to date, and the scale of the region, the size of the population, modal choice will deliver genuinely valuable insights on behavioural change, the significance of which should not be underestimated. The world is watching. The Go High programme will test feasibility of mass in a rural location, particularly testing the following assumptions. By providing an easy-to-use digital platform where passengers can plan their journeys and purchase their tickets, it will become easier for people to understand their travel options and to choose sustainable public transport. The participating transport providers will be able to access data gathered through the MAS product about the need and demand for their services, thereby helping them to better understand the needs of people in the region and to make more informed decisions about the provision of services. The development of MAS solution will increase the stimulus to introduce a public bike share schemes and to extend the car club offer. All of Enterprise's vehicles are either hybrid, low-emission vehicles or battery vehicles, enabling the promotion of low-emission vehicles to people who may have not previously used them, reducing carbon emissions. The MAS product will enable communication directly with users to encourage them to use sustainable travel options both prior to the launch and once it's in operation. It can offer incentives and rewards to users. Go High is powered by Mobilio's Mobility as a Service MAS platform, which has been built with the capacity to deploy partner MAS schemes using its powerful white label capabilities. Launching in June, the Go High app will provide multimodal integrated journey planning solutions to increase accessibility of integrated end-to-end travel options. It will include bus, rail, car hire and car clubs, taxi, ferry, bike hire and air transport. The new app will be downloadable on desktop and smartphone and will offer a regional real-time journey planning solution with account-based program payment options and links together multiple transport modes to allow users to plan, book and pay for their entire journey in just seconds. Travel made simple. The High Trans region has one of the highest percentage of car ownership in all of Scotland. To overcome it, the project truly brings the concept of integrated multimodal transport system to life. The ferry, bus, bike, train, plane are at the heart of the programme, but linking and facilitating the uptake of these modes of transport is on-demand car club and rental. Benefits the access to the multimodal travel option, supporting end-to-end journeys, reliable journey planning and hassle-free payment systems, access to cost-effective commuting, increasing the visibility of environmentally conscious options. As part of the Go High project, Enterprise is adding EV car club vehicles at either side of the Gourg and Dunoon passenger ferry crossing. The project is also looking to position Brompton bike hire alongside the car club vehicles to really promote the usage of the foot passenger ferry and provide onward mobility on either side. A great example of the MAS project allowing different modes of transport to collaborate and increase the number of passengers using collective local transport operators. The Dial M for Moray is an accessible door-to-door bus service for those unable to use existing forms of transport or who don't have a regular scheduled bus service. This service is for everyone, regardless of age or disability. Dial M for Moray operates in 5 areas. Shuttle, who operate the software that powers the DRT service, are integrating into the Go High MAS platform, and this will allow users to make those real-time DRT journey bookings and embrace the low-carbon technology with the fully electric vehicles to provide an environmentally sustainable service. It will build on the existing brand identity of Dial M to create an engaging and responsive public transport identity for all customer groups, and use intelligence-led marketing to generate business and communicate with customers and have excellent customer service at the heart of the operation. Retaining the current customer base, which has a large proportion of elderly customers, but use the above principles to target the youth and working populations of Moray to provide a real rural alternative to the private car. Other examples of partnership include our partnership with East Surrey Rural Transport Partnership. Here, we provide 35 minibuses and accessible vehicles to serve contracted day centres, school, rural bus services in Surrey. These vehicles are provided fully fitted with all the accessibility specifications and in response to demand have allowed the transition away from an owned fleet to a managed fleet. And this offers the ability to scale the fleet size to respond to new demands and to maintain a fully operational fleet that was available to people in rural areas every day. Also, examples like Berwick-upon-Tweed Car Club and other car clubs at other train stations. Since October 2017, Enterprise has operated the car club at Berwick-upon-Tweed station with the support of LNER. The car operates 24/7 and is accessible to residents and visitors. In that time, the vehicle has been booked and used hundreds of times by hundreds of different drivers for over 10,000 hours, driving over 25,000 miles. And the split between visitors and residents is 75-25, showing that visitors can now arrive by train and still access a car when needed, rather than driving the full journey. In Peterborough train station, Enterprise has also positioned Car Club next to the Brompton bike dock, and both these modes of transport are well utilised by both residents and businesses. And Enterprise has placed Car Club services across all the LNER stations, ensuring the consumer has access to multimodal travel.
Do you live in Coventry? Do you have an older, polluting car? You could scrap it for a great price and get mobility credits in return. If your car is older than 10 years, registered in your name at a Coventry address, and has a current MOT certificate, you could be eligible. With mobility credits, you can pay for travel on local bus or train, get a season ticket, or use the local car club, all via an easy-to-use app. Cheaper, easier, greener, hassle-free. Take the next step on your mobility journey. Visit our website today.
We're also working with Transport for the West Midlands and Coventry City Council on a mobility credits trial. Here, £3,000 of mobility credits can be spent on public transport, as well as new transport modes such as car clubs, car hire, bike share, or electric scooters. Residents will access their credits through a mobile app, which allows them to plan, book, and pay for journeys using mobility credits. And residents will trade in their old diesel vehicle in exchange for these credits. The vehicle is scrapped through the car take-back scheme. Enterprise has strategically positioned our car club fleet in Coventry to allow residents to use the services. The trial also gives residents who are part of the scheme access to the vehicle hire services across the entire West Midlands. It's a great trial and it's part of the West Midlands Future Transport Zone. In summary, we're very excited that Enterprise, through the key projects I've shown you today, is working closely with local government and transport authorities to establish public and private sector partnerships that deliver real transportation solutions for rural communities. And with the £4.8 billion Levelling Up Fund that government has made available to invest in infrastructure that improves everyday life across the UK, including upgrading transportation, now is a great time for local authorities to engage with transportation and mobility providers like Enterprise and our partners to deliver those innovative solutions. Please do take time to visit us in the network rooms where we can provide more details on the projects highlighted today. And also please speak to us if you are a local authority who is interested in delivering these types of mobility solutions. Thank you.